Chosen one, listen to me, not with half of your heart, not with a distracted mind, but with every fiber of your being, because what you are about to hear is not just another message, it is a spiritual alarm that has been sent directly into your atmosphere. Heaven has pressed pause on the noise around you, because God is targeting you, not your neighbor, not the person scrolling after you. You were not born for the background. You were never meant to blend in from the day you were formed. There was something about you that caught the attention of angels and stirred up the fury of hell. That's why everything has felt heavier lately. That's why you've been wrestling with things you can't even explain. You've felt it in your sleep. You've seen it in the mirror. Your body, your soul, it's been under pressure. But not just from life's weight, from divine preparation. Because there is a spiritual force about to strike you, and your body must be ready to receive it. Don't take this moment lightly. This isn't background inspiration or casual encouragement. This is an encounter, a divine message intercepted from heaven, sent through time and space. Because your name has been whispered in the throne room. You are being summoned, yes, summoned into alignment. Your body cannot carry what's coming if it remains in the same state it's been in. Your body must become the altar. Your muscles, your breath, your bones, they were never just flesh. They were designed as a vessel for the holy. And now, heaven is coming to fill that vessel with force. This is why you've been feeling stretched. This is why the usual distractions don't satisfy you anymore. This is why sleep doesn't reset you like it used to. You've outgrown the old rhythm. Because your soul knows something is coming. Something weighty. Something divine. Some of you have been ignoring this nudge. You've been sensing that something is off, but you couldn't put it into words. Let me speak those words now. Heaven is about to interrupt your entire system. The patterns you've lived with are about to be broken. The way you breathe, move, eat, rest, and walk. God is calling it into alignment. Because what's about to touch your life is not light, gentle, or optional. It is force. It is fire. It is glory. We read in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36, verse 26, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. You have to stop treating your body like it's yours to manage. It belongs to God. You are the temple. You are the ark. You are the altar. And what is sacred must be prepared. This is why you cannot afford to remain passive. God is not preparing you for normal. He is preparing you for movement, for war, for weight. You are a carrier of presence. And that presence will not rest on unprepared shoulders. So pay attention to the stillness God is creating around you right now. It's not isolation. It's invitation. He is silencing distractions to amplify instructions, and you must respond. Not tomorrow. Not when it's more convenient. Now. Heaven is not sending this message to flatter you. This is not a spiritual pep talk. This is a divine briefing. The commander of the heavenly hosts is handing you your orders. Prepare your body. Prepare your space. Prepare your temple. Because the strike is coming. You may ask, why now? Because your delay is starting to cost you. Your spiritual gifts are on hold. Your prophetic dreams are clogged. Your strength is leaking. And God is not going to keep pouring new oil into a vessel that refuses to be cleaned. You are out of time for excuses. You've been tired. Yes, but there's a reason. The heaviness isn't punishment, it's prophecy. You're carrying a future you haven't even seen yet. Your body feels the tremble of what's coming before your eyes do. And this message is heaven's confirmation. You're not going crazy. You're being calibrated. So wake up, realign, recommit. This moment is sacred. You are being marked. You are being positioned. And this isn't just a moment to listen. It's a moment to respond. Comment 444 below if this word is unlocking something inside you. If your spirit is trembling, if your body feels the pull to rise higher, type 444 to declare, I receive the strike of heaven. Like this message, share it with another chosen one who's been too silent, too stuck, too distracted. Subscribe right now so you never miss another divine dispatch. Because this is not entertainment, it's alignment. You are not here by mistake. You were summoned, and the force of heaven is already drawing near. Chosen one. You need to understand this. Your flesh, your form, your bones, none of it is random. You were not stitched together with leftovers. You were not crafted on accident. Before you ever breathed your first breath, God formed you with purpose in mind. You were built for something sacred, something eternal. Your body is not just a covering, it is a conduit. When heaven chose you, it didn't just mark your soul, it marked your structure. This body you're living in, it is holy real estate. Your skin has been authorized to host glory. Your eyes, your hands, your posture, it was all designed to carry divine weight. This is why the enemy has been attacking your health, your energy, your physical habits. He knows something most people don't. If he can disrupt your body, he can delay your calling. But it won't work, because you're awakening now. For years, perhaps you treated your body like an afterthought. You survived on the edge of burnout. You pushed through pain without seeking the root. You silenced the messages your body was trying to send you. But now the veil is lifting. Now you're beginning to see. Your body isn't weak, it's prophetic. It's been speaking all along. The tension, the fatigue, the aching joints, the shortness of breath, it's not just age or stress or bad habits. It's your vessel telling you, we can't carry this glory unprepared. God is not just calling your spirit, He is summoning your cells. Because the strike that's coming will require your body to absorb power that most people would collapse under. You're not being prepared for casual blessing. You're being structured for impact. You are being reinforced. This is why you've been tired in strange ways. It's not exhaustion, it's expansion. Your spiritual capacity is stretching, and your flesh is catching up. That's why rest hasn't fixed it. Because this is not about rest. It's about reconstruction. God is rebuilding you from the inside out. He is rewiring your instincts, resetting your rhythms, and retraining your reflexes. What once felt normal, staying up too late, ignoring hydration, pushing your limits without prayer will now feel wrong. Not because of guilt, but because your temple is being reconsecrated, and the holy does not tolerate chaos. Do you feel it? The way your body now resists things it used to indulge in, the discomfort with foods, environments, and habits that once numbed you. That's not weakness. That's your flesh submitting to spirit. You're not the same person anymore. Heaven has issued a new blueprint over your life, and your body is catching up. The cravings that used to control you are weakening. The habits that used to dominate you are cracking, because the vessel is making space for glory. Understand this. God chose your body for a reason. He didn't give you someone else's frame. He didn't place you in the wrong form. Your height, your voice, your get, your hands. There is nothing about you that is accidental. Everything about your form has spiritual assignment attached to it. The enemy has tried to distort your reflection so you'd resent what was made to carry glory. But no more. The shame is breaking. The comparison is dissolving. You are not meant to look like them. You are meant to host him. Even your scars have purpose. Every mark on your skin, every area of your body that has been through trauma or pain, it is not ruined. It is redeemed. These places will become pressure points of testimony, places where divine power flows most freely. The same way, resurrected Christ still carried wounds. Your body too will tell the story. I survived, and now I carry glory. End of. We find in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 19, do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God? The weight of what's coming demands reverence for the body you've been given. This is not vanity. This is preparation. This is not about idolizing appearance. This is about recognizing sacred function. You cannot carry supernatural power with a careless vessel. Your body will soon experience moments where it reacts to divine presence before your mind even catches up. Chills that come out of nowhere. A tremble in your fingers. A heat in your chest. It will feel unfamiliar, but do not fear it. You are simply adjusting to the voltage of heaven. You are being prepared to house what few are trusted to hold. You were never ordinary, chosen one, and neither is your body. Every ache, every sting, every moment your body felt like it was giving out, chosen one. It wasn't pointless. It wasn't punishment. It wasn't even natural. It was prophetic. Your body has been speaking, groaning, signaling, sending messages that your spirit didn't always know how to translate. Those migraines, that fatigue, the strange tension in your chest, the sleepless nights, the moments when your legs felt like stone or your breath caught in your lungs, none of it was random. You weren't falling apart. You were being warned. Heaven has been using your very flesh to alert you to what's coming. Because before the spirit is struck, the body reacts. You see, when the glory of God prepares to move towards someone, it's not subtle. It doesn't quietly slide into the background. It disrupts, shakes, disturbs, and your body, as the outer casing of your calling, feels the tremor before your soul interprets it. Like how the ground rumbles before lightning strikes, your body rumbles before the spirit descends. What you thought was exhaustion was actually spiritual friction. What you interpreted as burnout was actually divine stretching. That tension in your shoulders, that heat in your palms, that weight behind your eyes, it's all part of the activation. But here's where the enemy tried to sabotage you. He whispered lies in the middle of the symptoms. He told you it was just stress, just overwork, just weakness. He tried to make you numb to the very signs that God was using to wake you up. But no more. You're listening now. You're discerning. You're interpreting with spiritual ears. Understand this. When God sends power to your life, it must first pass through the gate of your body. And if your body is out of order, overwhelmed, undernourished, neglected, or bound by old patterns, the voltage of glory will clash with your flesh. That's where the pain comes from. It's not because you're broken. It's because you're being aligned. You are undergoing spiritual calibration. And like any fine-tuned instrument, the slightest adjustment can feel like pressure. But it's not pressure meant to crush. It's pressure designed to perfect. Scripture records in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 11, "And if the spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead is living in you, he who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through his spirit who lives in you." No, that means your body isn't just waiting for heaven, it's already being stirred by heaven's presence. Resurrection power doesn't wait until the end. It starts now, and that stirring can feel like shaking. The Holy Spirit is moving inside your bones, preparing your nervous system, waking up muscles that have long been dormant, activating nerves, signals, and sensitivities you didn't even know were spiritual. What does this mean? It means the strike is near, so don't resist the ache. Don't ignore the pressure. Don't numb the tremble. Heaven is trying to tell you something. Some of you reading this have been questioning your sanity, wondering why your body's been reacting like this. You've had sudden tears, unexplained chills, moments of fire running down your spine, or the sensation of something bigger pushing down on your chest. Don't be afraid. You're not malfunctioning. You're being visited. Your spiritual alarm clock isn't just in your heart, it's in your flesh. And that alarm is ringing loud. Your body is trying to tell your mind, get ready. Something is coming. Something holy. Something weighty. And if this word is confirming something you haven't dared to say out loud, if your chest is tightening because your spirit knows this is true, then don't let this moment pass quietly. Comment, I feel it. Because that one sentence is more than agreement, it's an unlocking. It is a declaration that you are not numb, not blind, not deaf to what the Spirit is doing in your very cells. When you type it, you are admitting, yes, my body has been groaning. Yes, I felt the tremble. Yes, this is the divine signal I've been ignoring. When you admit it, something shifts. The symptoms stop being distractions and become confirmations. You stop fighting the ache and start interpreting it. You are not sick. You are sensitive. You are not weak. You are wired for glory. From this moment on, when your body reacts, don't dismiss it. Don't silence it. Go into prayer. Ask God what's happening, because your physical vessel is now a prophetic sensor, and the closer the strike comes, the more it will speak. The pain, the fatigue, the pressure, it's not a problem. It's the prophecy being fulfilled in your bones. Chosen one. You are the storm's landing place, and your body knows it before your mind does. Why does the force target the flesh first? Because the flesh is where resistance hides. Chosen one. Before your spirit can rise, your body must bow. Before transformation can take root in your soul, the soil of your flesh must be broken. This is not cruelty. This is divine order. Heaven strikes the outer before it awakens the inner. Your body is not a passive bystander in your calling. It is the front line, the battlefield, the first place where divine pressure and demonic resistance collide. When God begins a new work in your life, He does not begin with your schedule or your bank account. He begins with your body, because your body holds the rhythms, habits, and reflexes that either support heaven or resist it. When heaven wants to shift your direction, it doesn't start with your plans. It starts with your posture. It disrupts your rest patterns. It changes your appetite. It makes your legs heavy when you try to run from prayer. It causes your chest to tighten when you're ignoring the presence. Your eyes grow tired of what once entertained you. Your body rejects what your spirit is being purified from. This is the work of grace, not always sweet, but always surgical. Heaven knows that the flesh is stubborn. It clings to comfort. It remembers sin. It repeats what's familiar, even when it's killing you. That's why divine force strikes there first, because the flesh must yield, or the glory cannot stay. He calls you into fasting, not just food, but patterns, into consecration, not just from sin, but from habits that keep you sluggish and distracted. He asks you to rise earlier, to sleep more intentionally, to move your body, to drink water, to breathe with awareness, not because these things save you, but because they prepare you, because every great move of God begins with the silencing of flesh. Think of Moses. Before he saw the fire in the bush, he had to turn aside. His routine was interrupted. His sandals were removed. Why? Because the holy cannot share space with the flesh's agenda. Or think of Jesus. Before he launched into public ministry, his body was led into the wilderness. 40 days of silence. Einhunger. Stillness. Why? Because the body had to bow before the spirit could be released in power. You are not exempt from this divine pattern. You've been asking God to use you, to speak through you, to show you signs and wonders. But have you yielded the outer vessel? Have you invited the strike upon your habits, your preferences, your comforts? This is why you feel pressure in your physical form before you hear clarity in your mind. The spiritual must first pass through the physical, and if your body is resisting, the message delays. The obedience is muffled. You cannot carry a spiritual call with carnal discipline. Your cravings must be retrained. Your reflexes must be restructured. Your default responses: anger, escape, indulgence, delay. They must be put to death, not in one dramatic moment, but in a daily yielding. This is why some of you are being called to walk instead of scroll, to rise before the sun instead of staying buried in the sheets, to drink what heals instead of what numbs, to stretch and kneel and breathe, not for image, but for readiness. God is crafting in you a vessel that can endure weight, not a fragile structure that collapses under His glory, but a steady one, a temple that does not tremble when the Spirit enters. You've misunderstood discipline. You thought it was legalism, but in truth, it's mercy. The mercy of God, training your body to receive Him more fully. What feels like restriction is actually invitation. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Because when the force of heaven finally hits, it will not ask your body for permission. It will strike, and if your body is not ready, you'll confuse visitation for illness. You'll mistake divine pressure for burnout. You'll label supernatural weight as exhaustion, and you'll miss the holy moment. So now, God in His kindness has allowed you to feel it ahead of time. These signals in your body, the groaning, the aches, the restlessness, it's not random. It's rehearsal. Heaven is whispering through your cells. Get ready. The force is coming, and it will not stop. 1. Chosen one. The flesh is not the enemy, but it must come under submission. It must yield, because what's coming cannot be carried by laziness. It cannot rest on a body that refuses to move. It will not abide with the distracted or the dull. The Word of God declares in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 24, "Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires." This is the mercy of the strike it wounds. What must die, so that what is holy can live. Chosen one. You're about to walk into a season where sacrifice will matter more than comfort. And not the kind of sacrifice the world celebrates. This is deeper, holier. It's the private surrender, the unseen laying down of cravings, the turning away from what your flesh reaches for. The quiet, yes, when no one's watching. You are being called into a consecrated lifestyle, not just a temporary fast, not a short burst of discipline to impress God. This is long-haul obedience, realignment of appetite, redefinition of what satisfies you. God is not just adjusting your habits, He's transforming your hunger, because the spiritual force that is about to strike your life will not rest on compromise. It cannot. Glory does not dwell in divided houses. The anointing you've asked for will not abide where comfort rules. It settles only where sacrifice has made space, and that space must be carved from your cravings. You're not just giving up food, you're giving up delay. You're sacrificing your addiction to instant gratification. You're laying down the part of you that wants to feel good over being made holy. You're surrendering the idol of escape, because this isn't the time to numb. This is the time to wake up. Heaven is watching how you treat your body in private. Not because God is legalistic, but because what you do in the quiet proves whether you truly believe what He's about to release over you. If your daily actions don't reflect your divine assignment, something must break, and God, in His mercy, will allow pressure to increase until you choose to either bend or be remade. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. "How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow Him." It's time to stop wavering. No more jumping between consecration and convenience. You cannot carry this coming glory with half surrender. You must pick a side. Choose a discipline. Choose sacrifice. Choose holiness. Not because it's easy, but because your body is becoming a landing place for something eternal. You already know what God is asking you to lay down. You felt it pressing at you in the quiet hours. That drink, that late-night routine, that secret snack stash, that screen habit, that emotional escape route. You know what it is. You've defended it, called it harmless, said it's not that serious. But God says it's in the way. And when something stands in the way of glory, it must go, not out of punishment, but for preparation. This is the part of the journey where most people walk away. They want fire without the flame's heat. They want anointing without sacrifice. They want transformation without the tension. But not you. You've come too far to bow to sugar-coated religion. You were not called for easy. You were called to carry weight. And for that, your vessel must be clean. This is your invitation to cleanse, not just in spirit, but in body. Start where you are. Begin with water instead of comfort food. Begin with prayer instead of mindless scrolling. Begin with movement instead of delay. Begin with yes. You are not alone in this. Every person who has carried glory has walked this road. Every revivalist, every prophet, every world changer has had to lay down the flesh to rise in the spirit. This is the price of fire. This is the price of force. And if this message is hitting you where it hurts, it's because God is trying to touch what's still guarded. So let it in. Let this word confront you. Let it pull you off the couch. Let it make you close the fridge. Let it move you to tears. Let it feel uncomfortable. That's how you know it's working. Heaven does not send soft warnings to hardened hearts. The fact that you can still feel conviction is proof. The door is still open. You haven't missed it. You are still on heaven's radar. This is your turning point. So, take action now. If this word is piercing through the fog and calling your name, don't scroll away. Let others be inspired too, like this message, so it keeps moving. Share it with someone you know is stuck in the same battle. And subscribe so that these words keep reaching you when you need them most. This isn't just about content, it's about consecration. You are not just being informed. You are being prepared. You are not just hearing words. You are being called higher. You are not just a listener. You are a carrier of fire. So, step into the discomfort. Let the cravings die. Let the altar be built with your choices. And let your body become the place where heaven lands. Chosen one. This is not just about your health. This is spiritual warfare disguised in physical patterns. The fatigue, the cravings, the sluggish mornings, the sharp drop in motivation followed by waves of guilt. You've been calling it laziness, hormones, maybe burnout. But heaven has another word for it, interference. Because the force that's coming isn't only aimed at your spirit, it's about to strike your body. And if your vessel is compromised, the assignment will be delayed. Understand this. You are not just a soul in a body. You are a temple in motion. You are a mobile altar. What you eat, how you rest, how you move, how you breathe, these are not neutral behaviors. They are spiritual postures. They either invite the fire or resist it. And the enemy knows it. He's studied you, not your prayers, your patterns. He knows when you snack instead of kneel. He's tracked the hour you mindlessly scroll instead of rest in stillness. He's watched how your body resists the new and defaults to comfort. That's why the warfare has gotten so physical. You thought it was just about fixing a diet or getting more sleep. No. This is about silencing the body so the spirit can speak. It is written in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 12. Even now, declares the Lord, return to me with all your heart, with fasting and weeping and mourning. Fasting isn't just for sin, it's for focus, for alignment. It is heaven's prescribed weapon when the noise in your body grows louder than the whisper of God. Some of you haven't heard clearly from the Lord in weeks, not because He's silent, but because your vessel is loud. You don't need more motivation. You need a cleanse, not just a juice fast, a spiritual clearing. You need to evict the habits that hijack your energy and bind your momentum. Because what's coming requires stamina, divine stamina, the kind that can't coexist with sugar crashes, sleep debt, and spiritual numbness. God is calling you into a new way of treating your flesh, not as the enemy, but as a stewarded temple. You can't keep dragging a holy calling through unhealthy rhythms. The anointing you carry will suffocate in a sluggish frame. This isn't about vanity. It's about velocity. The force of heaven needs room to move. You're not being asked to run a marathon. You're being asked to respond, to obey when God says, drink water instead, to choose prayer over pity, to wake up before the noise, to feel your feet on the ground before you lose another day to autopilot. And make no mistake, these little choices are not small to God. They are warfare. They are banners. They are the laying of bricks on the altar He's building in your life. Every time you say no to comfort and yes to alignment, a wall falls in the spirit. A delay breaks. A floodgate opens. This is your warning, but it's also your opportunity. What your body surrenders today will make room for power tomorrow. Some of you have already felt the shift. Your body isn't tolerating what it used to. Foods you once loved make you feel foggy. Environments that once energized you now feel toxic. Sleep doesn't refresh you like before. That's not dysfunction. That's divine reprogramming. Your body is reacting to what your soul is rejecting. You are being made new, not just in thought, but in flesh. Your hands will heal. Your feet will carry presence. Your voice will break chains. But first, your body must come under the Spirit's discipline. You can't host the fire if your temple leaks. So here's your moment. No more delay. No more. I'll start next week. Heaven has paused time to deliver this word. And if it pierced you, if you feel the tremble, the urgency, the call to rise again, then mark it. Respond. Seal it with surrender. Comment 888. That's not just a number. It's a prophetic sign of new creation. 8 is the number of resurrection, of divine order restarting, of old cycles breaking. Type 888 to declare, my body is not my excuse. It's my offering. N. Let this comment be your cry. Your line in the sand. Your moment where you stop waiting to feel ready and start moving in obedience. And if this word has stirred you deeply, don't keep it to yourself. Like this message as a sign that you heard God clearly. Share it with someone who's been stuck in the same spiral. And subscribe so you stay under the flow. This isn't motivation, it's alignment. You were never called to survive this life dragging your body behind your spirit. You were called to walk in wholeness. And heaven is striking you now, mind, soul, and body. Your body is a gate. Every moment, something is either entering or exiting through it. Chosen one. You need to understand that your physical vessel is not a wall, it's a doorway. What you allow through your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your skin, these are not harmless experiences. They are invitations. And whether you realize it or not, the spiritual realm responds to the permissions your body gives. You may have been treating your body like a container, something passive and neutral. But the truth is, your body is a gateway between dimensions. The spiritual realm uses it. The enemy targets it. And God is calling it into consecration. When you eat, when you listen, when you speak, when you move, your body is either aligning with heaven or opening the door to interference. You are a walking altar. That means what comes through, you must be filtered through fire. It's not just about what you watch or eat. It's the posture of your body in spiritual rhythm. Are you opening your mouth to release life or curse your own future? Are you using your hands to build altars or scroll endlessly through distraction? Is your stomach trained to fast or constantly chasing comfort? Are your ears tuned to the frequency of God, or drowning in noise that deadens your discernment, every gate matters. Your appetite is a gate. It reveals where your devotion is tethered. When you run to food instead of prayer, to caffeine instead of the word, to music instead of stillness, you're not just feeding your body, you're forming your altar. What you crave shapes what you become. Your eyes are a gate. What you look at doesn't just pass by it. Plants. Images are seeds, and seeds birth atmospheres. If your dreams have been polluted, if your mind has grown foggy, ask yourself, what have my eyes been hosting? Even 10 seconds of unholy intake can take 10 days to uproot. Your ears are a gate. You may think you're just listening for fun, but sounds shape the soul. If you feed yourself music, podcasts, or conversations that stir lust, fear, rebellion, or ego, you are authorizing demonic ideas to dwell within. Don't confuse entertainment with entry. You are not just hearing, you are harboring. Your mouth is a gate. When you speak defeat over your body, when you say, "I'll never be healthy. I'm always tired. I can't control myself," you're not venting, you're voting. The spiritual realm responds to what you proclaim. Life and death flow through that gate. Speak accordingly. Your skin is a gate. Who you let near your body, who you embrace, what you expose yourself to physically, it all matters. Touch is transfer. You may not see it, but every embrace, every laying on of hands, every moment of physical closeness, it sends something spiritual through the gate. This is why purity is not just about morality, it's about protection. God is calling you to guard every gate, not to live in fear, but to live in awareness. When the spiritual strike comes, it will flow through these openings. The power won't just fill your soul, it will touch your eyes, your voice, your breath, your posture. And if those gates are open to the wrong things, the glory will be contaminated. This is not legalism. This is authority. You've been asking for more power, but more power requires tighter gates. Loose gates lead to lost glory. You've felt it before. After listening to something dark, your heart felt heavy. After eating beyond peace, your spirit dulled. After scrolling for hours, your discernment blurred. After a careless conversation, your prayer life grew quiet. That wasn't coincidence. That was contamination. The gates were left unguarded. It's time to secure the entry points. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23, it is written, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." And to guard your heart, you must guard your gates. You can't protect the inner sanctuary if every external door is wide open. And you cannot be surprised when confusion enters a life that gave access without accountability. Chosen one. Your destiny depends on this awareness. This isn't a minor adjustment, it's a holy lockdown. Your body is not your enemy. It is a system of access, a mechanism of alignment. And right now, heaven is commanding it to come into divine order. Ask yourself, what needs to be closed? What needs to be fasted from? What needs to be purified? Because when the force of God strikes you fully, it will move through your gates like fire through corridors. Let those corridors be clean. Let them be ready. Let them be holy. You are not just hosting glory. You are gating it. Guard well. when angels touch flesh. The natural trembles under supernatural weight. Chosen one. You must understand, whenever heaven moves in close, the body reacts. It cannot help it. Flesh was never designed to casually host the divine. When the presence of God descends, when his messengers draw near, something always shifts in the physical realm. Muscles tighten, knees buckle, mouths fall silent, skin burns with unseen fire. Vision distorts as eyes try to adjust to something not of this world. This is why your body has felt unusual lately. There are no words for it, just a knowing. Your sleep is disturbed. Your appetite is inconsistent. Your hands feel electric at times, heavy at others. Tears surface without reason. Time feels altered. These are not emotional waves. These are encounters. Throughout Scripture, the pattern is consistent. When the holy enters human atmosphere, bodies respond. When Daniel encountered a heavenly being, it is written that his strength left him, and his face turned deathly pale. He fell to the ground, trembling. When Isaiah saw the Lord, he cried out, "Woe to me," because his lips and body could not bear the weight of the vision. When Jesus was transfigured before Peter, James, and John, his face shone like the sun, and the disciples collapsed in terror. When John the Revelator saw the risen Christ, he fell at his feet, as though dead. The pattern is not fear, it is overwhelm. The body, under holy proximity, short circuits. So what does that mean for you? It means that the discomfort you feel is not always warfare. It may be contact. The heaviness isn't always attack. It might be the weight of glory beginning to settle. Heaven doesn't always arrive with trumpets. Sometimes it comes through stillness, through a soft fire behind your eyes, a tremor in your hands, a heat across your shoulders. You've dismissed it as stress or coincidence. But no, you are being visited. You've prayed for more anointing, more encounter, more clarity. But more of God always presses against the limits of flesh. You cannot carry what is coming without transformation. And transformation, especially when divine, doesn't begin in your intellect. It begins in your bones. This is why you must pay attention to your body in this hour, not from a place of fear, but discernment. The divine is drawing near, and your physical temple is beginning to stir under the weight. Don't dismiss what you feel. Don't silence the symptoms. Don't medicate what God is using to warn you. What if that restlessness in your limbs is not insomnia but instruction? What if the heat in your chest during prayer isn't emotional hype, but angelic friction? You are not being punished. You are being prepared. There are some moments where heaven presses into earth, not to impress, but to imprint. The hand of the Lord touches a shoulder, and suddenly a new burden is felt. An angel brushes past you, and your entire nervous system jolts. The Spirit whispers in your room at 3 a.m., and your lungs ache with awe. It's not in your imagination. It's not spiritual immaturity. It's not too deep. It's divine contact. And your body, though limited, though flawed, is beginning to recognize the environment of the throne room. That's what happens when you've been marked. That's what happens when the veil thins. Chosen one. This is not the time to resist the tremble. Let your body respond. Let the shaking come. When heaven touches earth, the ground always quakes. And when heaven touches you, so will you. It may not be dramatic. but it will be undeniable. You'll walk differently. Your hands will feel different. Your voice will carry something it didn't before. People will say, "There's something on you." And they'll be right. It won't be pride. It won't be performance. It'll be residue, the leftover imprint of divine presence brushing against human weakness. In the book of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 6, the word says, "When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground, terrified." That was their body's reaction to the voice of God. And yet, what followed was not destruction, it was glory. The trembling did not lead to ruin, it led to revelation. The collapse was not the end, it was the beginning of a new level of knowing Him. So when your body begins to react, do not assume disaster. Assume divine disclosure is near. So if your body is reacting strangely, trembling in silence, stirring in stillness, or aching without explanation, don't run. Don't numb it. Don't escape it. Don't reach for distraction or denial. Instead, become still. Listen. Breathe. Because what your flesh is feeling is not weakness, it is witness. You are not malfunctioning. You are making contact. Heaven is near. You've been carrying fire, even when you didn't realize it, even when your hands felt cold and your soul felt distant. Something sacred was alive inside you, pressing against your ribs, burning in your breath. You didn't light this fire. It was placed there. Heaven itself set it within you. And for too long, you've mistaken the weight of that flame for weakness. Chosen one. The fatigue you felt wasn't failure. It was fire containment. You're not just tired. You're full. You've been walking around with more glory than most people can handle. And your body has been groaning under the pressure. Every sigh, every heavy breath, every ache in your bones. It's the tension between who you've been and who you're becoming. This is not burnout. This is build-up. Divine power is pressing against the walls of your flesh, demanding to break out. And it will, because fire was never meant to stay hidden. It was meant to consume. Some of you feel like you've lost your passion, but what you've actually lost is your space. You haven't had room to express the fire. You've been boxed in by responsibilities, schedules, opinions, and spiritual silence. You've been told to calm down, to be realistic, to slow your roll. But fire doesn't calm. It burns. It transforms. And heaven never called you to fit in. That pressure inside your chest, that sudden rush in worship, that trembling you can't explain when you pray, that's fire. You've carried it through heartbreak. You've carried it through rejection. You've carried it through the silence of unanswered prayers and the noise of spiritual confusion. And the fact that you're still carrying it, even now, is proof of who you are. You were marked. The people around you haven't always understood. You've felt strange, different, too much for some, not enough for others. You've tried to dim yourself to fit rooms that couldn't hold your flame, but no more. The days of shrinking are over. The fire is not here to be domesticated. It's here to be released. Because now comes the moment of ignition. The strike that is coming, this divine impact you've been sensing, won't be the start of the fire. It will be the release. It will tear open the places where you've stored the heat of your calling. It will blow off the lids you've kept on your voice, your vision, your movement. You will no longer be able to walk into rooms and go unnoticed. The fire will announce you. And yes, some will walk away, but those who remain, they'll be the ones who were meant to be purified by what you carry. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 20, verse 9, the prophet said, "His word is in my heart, like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot." This is your moment. The fire can't stay trapped any longer. You've held it in for years, tried to explain it, tried to contain it. But now heaven is saying, let it out. It will come through your words, through your posture, through the way you walk into a space and carry authority without even speaking. It will come through your prayers, through your tears, through the clarity in your eyes. You're not just going to talk about God, you're going to burn with Him. That's why your body has been under such tension. That's why sleep doesn't restore you, why crowds exhaust you, why food doesn't satisfy. You've been mistaking natural remedies for a supernatural issue. It's time to stop coping and start combusting. You weren't meant to carry the fire quietly. You were meant to ignite atmospheres. So if this word is stirring something in you, if your hands feel tingly, if your chest is heavy, if your mind is racing, but your spirit is still respond, comment, "I choose fire." No, just 3 words. But they break years of silence. They say, "I will not dim to make others comfortable." They say, "I embrace the burden of being chosen." They say, "I release the fire that's been shut up in my bones." And when you type those words, you align your body with your assignment. You shift from hiding to releasing, from surviving to burning. You're not tired. You're lit. And when heaven strikes, you won't just receive it, you'll spread it. This world doesn't need more information. It needs fire carriers, and that's who you are. So carry it boldly. Walk with flame in your lungs and light in your eyes, because the fire in you is not just for you, it's for everything around you that needs to ignite. Hell has studied your flesh. Yes, chosen one, your spirit belongs to God. But don't think for 1 second the enemy isn't interested in your body. The adversary may not be able to possess your soul, but he will absolutely attempt to influence, sabotage, and hijack your physical vessel. Why? Because your body is the first responder to your calling. If he can wear it down, distract it, seduce it, or trap it in cycles, he knows he can stall your assignment. From the moment you were marked, hell began tracking your cravings, your sleep rhythms, your secret indulgences, your stress patterns, your emotional triggers. The enemy has been taking notes on what comforts you when no one is looking, what you reach for, what you escape to, what you allow when you're tired or discouraged. He's not always fighting you with demons in the dark. Sometimes he's fighting you with distractions in the flesh. Don't mistake the subtlety for safety. The enemy's most effective attacks are rarely dramatic. He's not always roaring sometimes. He's whispering through sugar, through delay, through emotional eating, through spiritual apathy disguised as rest. He knows if he can slow your body, he can fog your mind. If he can keep you stuck in food loops, sleep debt, or screen addiction, he doesn't need to steal your faith. Your flesh will do the work, but not anymore, because now you know. And when the chosen ones gain awareness, the enemy loses ground. This is why your spiritual growth must include physical mastery You cannot live out a divine calling in a body that's surrendered to impulse. You cannot carry heavenly instruction when your flesh is louder than your spirit. And you cannot host fire if your temple is filled with trash. This is not about shame. This is about awareness. This is your moment of clarity. God is shining light into the corridors where compromise has quietly lived, where junk has become comfort, where numbness has become normal. But now comes the shift, and it starts not with force, but with choice. You must choose to confront what you've allowed, to ask yourself hard questions. What does the enemy use most often to seduce my body away from alignment? When do I give up control and call it just being human? Where have I lowered my standard because everyone else does it? These aren't guilt trips. They're growth triggers. Because if you don't confront the pattern, you'll repeat it. And if you repeat it long enough, it becomes your prison. But God's not calling you into bondage. He's calling you into freedom. And freedom isn't just spiritual, it's also physical discipline. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 27, declares, "But I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest after preaching to others, I myself should be disqualified." Paul wasn't just talking about sin. He was talking about stewardship. He knew that without control of the body, the fire could flicker. And chosen one, you carry something far too precious to leave unguarded. You've been asking God for more clarity, more anointing, more movement. But here's the truth. New weight requires new strength. God won't place a next-level mantle on a vessel stuck in old-level habits. If you want to rise in authority, you must rise in ownership of your time, your rhythms, your rest, your intake, your body. This is not legalism. This is alignment. You're not being called to obsession. You're being called to order. To fuel your body like a vessel of glory, to sleep with purpose, not laziness, to move with energy, not stagnation, to say no, not just to sin, but to what slows you. The enemy is hoping you'll keep making excuses. He's hoping you'll keep calling this not that deep. He's hoping you'll keep pushing back the urgency with maybe tomorrow. But every delay you make gives him another day to mess with your momentum. Stop giving away your days. Chosen one, today is your moment to take it back. The authority you've been crying out for is on the other side of physical obedience. The clarity you've been begging for is tied to the rhythms you keep ignoring. You don't need a new word, you need a new walk. And if this word is hitting deep, don't let it sit. Act on it. Right now, click like, not for me, but to mark your agreement. Hit share because someone else is drowning in the same warfare and needs this lifeline. And subscribe because these words are not content. They're your strategy for staying aligned. Let this be the day hell realizes you've caught on. You're not just watching spiritual videos anymore. You're arming your body for a divine strike. Holiness will rewire you. Chosen one. When you truly surrender your body to God, not just your words, not just your Sunday behavior, but your actual physical vessel, something begins to shift at the root level. This isn't about changing habits for self-improvement. It's about entering the realm of holiness so deeply that it begins to reprogram your very cravings, your reflexes, your appetite, your default responses to life. The power of holiness is not limited to your morality. It seeps into your biology. You may not realize it yet, But your flesh is not set in stone. The rhythms and routines you've called just how I am are not permanent. Under divine touch, even your cellular patterns begin to obey the Spirit. When you offer your body as a living sacrifice, God doesn't just forgive, it's as if He re-engineers. This is why people who walk in deep holiness often carry a stillness about them, a slowness to react, a peace in how they move. It's not learned behavior, it's rewiring. Their nervous systems have been recalibrated under the weight of glory. You're stepping into that same transformation. But it's not instant. It comes through obedience. Daily death to the impulses. Daily, yes, to the refining fire. Daily choices that don't always make sense to the world, or even to your past self. Holiness will change what you reach for when you're in pain. You used to grab for food, for comfort, media, for gossip, for distraction. But holiness trains your hand to reach for prayer, for silence, for worship. You'll notice your instincts changing, and at first, it might feel foreign, even uncomfortable. That's because your body is being converted into a temple. There will come a moment when your flesh starts to reject what it used to crave, not because of guilt, but because the appetite itself has been altered. That's when you know rewiring is taking place. When the temptation doesn't just feel wrong, it feels empty. And here's what many never realize. The more you walk in holiness, the less effort it takes to resist the enemy. Temptation loses power, not because you grow stronger in willpower, but because you become so saturated in God's presence that sin starts to look like poison. You don't have to white-knuckle your way through obedience. You just stop wanting what you used to. The body, once surrendered, becomes a loyal ally to the Spirit. But this kind of rewiring takes time and tension. You may go through days when your body fights you, pulling you back to old comforts, reacting with tiredness, craving sugar, slumping into laziness. In those moments, holiness doesn't shout. It whispers. It reminds you, you are not that person anymore. It is written in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 11, verse 19, I will give them an undivided heart and put a new spirit in them. I will remove from them their heart of stone and give them a heart of flesh. Oh, that promise isn't poetic. It's prophetic. God is replacing your rigid reactions with divine rhythm. A heart of flesh isn't soft in weakness. It's responsive to Him. It means your body no longer reacts to trauma, but responds to truth. It no longer seeks escape, but leans into presence. This rewiring also affects your timing. Holiness doesn't just change what you do. It changes when you do it. You'll begin waking up before the alarm, feeling the nudge to pause a conversation, turning down something harmless because your spirit catches a faint, not now. You'll stop rushing, stop dragging. Your internal clock starts aligning with heaven's calendar. Your yes will be sharper, your no will be quicker, and your body, once a battleground of craving and chaos, becomes a quiet witness to the glory resting inside. There will still be moments of resistance. That's normal. The body, like a wild horse, resists the bridle at first. But once it learns the way of the rider, it becomes both strong and surrendered. Your body is learning, and the spirit is patient. So give it time. Give it room. Let God continue the rewiring, and don't look for perfection. Look for patterns. Are you responding more slowly to temptation? Are you craving stillness more often? Are you less satisfied by the things that once entertained you? These are signs of progress, sacred indicators that the strike of heaven has already begun to move through your vessel. Holiness isn't a costume. It's a current. When it begins flowing, it changes everything. It touches, including you, chosen one. Let it flow through you until even your breath testifies to His presence. The Spirit crashes in like lightning, not gently, not gradually, not with polite warnings or soft taps at the door. When heaven moves, really moves, it does so with power, with speed, with no regard for what you were comfortable with before. This is not the Spirit entering quietly into your morning devotion. This is the strike, the surge, the violent entrance of glory into your structure, into your system, into your very body. Chosen one, you must be ready for the way the Spirit enters. You've been praying, Lord, send your presence. But do you understand what you're asking for? The presence of God is not passive. It interrupts. It exposes. It confronts everything that is unclean, unstable, and unaligned. And when it comes, it crashes in. Not just spiritually, but physically. This is why your body must be prepared. When lightning touches earth, the ground doesn't get to vote. It simply reacts. It splits. It shakes. And when the Spirit touches your flesh, the same happens. Your knees buckle. Your lungs tremble. Your hands go numb. You cry without warning. You fall into silence without understanding why. You've been feeling these symptoms and thinking it's exhaustion, or anxiety, or maybe something is wrong with you. But what if it's not wrong? What if it's holy collision? The Spirit is breaking through your system, your nervous system, your digestive system, your breath patterns. These are not off limits to heaven. In fact, they're often the first to respond. Because when the Spirit arrives, it does not only want your words, it wants your wiring. It wants access to every system in your body so that His power can flow freely, unhindered by the debris of old habits and emotional clutter. You've been feeling the tremors, that sudden chill during prayer, the tightness in your stomach during worship, the overwhelming urge to bow, to cry, to be still. These are not emotional reactions. They are spiritual signals. Your body is feeling the nearness of God's lightning. And when that lightning strikes in full, it won't ask for permission. It will pierce everything that's out of order. It will burn through indifference. It will shake loose the idols hidden behind your routines. And it will either refine you or terrify you. It is written in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3, verse 4. His splendor was like the sunrise, rays flashed from His hand, where His power was hidden. Those rays, those bursts of divine force are not poetic metaphors. They are real. They move. They strike. And when they do, the vessel must be ready. Because this lightning doesn't destroy what is holy, it activates it. It reveals what was dormant. It awakens what religion could not touch. And it terrifies darkness. That's why you've been under pressure. Your body has been preparing for voltage, not for a feeling, not for a goosebump, but for divine energy. You've asked for revival, but revival begins in flesh. Revival does not float in the clouds. It descends into bones, into breath, into sweat and skin and posture and tears. And that's why the Spirit has been pressing on your body before touching your ministry. Because your body is His first witness. When lightning strikes a tree, The tree is never the same again. Its bark cracks. Its core is exposed. Its old shape cannot contain its new reality. And you, chosen one, are about to experience the same. Your core is about to shift. Your posture is about to change. You will not walk, speak, or even breathe the same after the Spirit strikes. And if you feel this word stirring you, if something is rising in your chest right now, if your stomach tightens, if your eyes are welling up, if your hands are tingling, don't ignore it. That's the signal. That's the tremble. That's the Spirit saying, the lightning is near. Oh, comment 2222. This number is your prophetic response. It represents alignment, confirmation, and the double portion of divine movement. When you type 2222, you're declaring, I feel the voltage. I welcome the strike. I offer my body as lightning's landing place. Oh, don't fear the impact. Let it hit. Let it transform. Let it rearrange everything. Because what the Spirit is bringing will not wait for you to be comfortable. It will not accommodate your preferences. It is coming fast, hot, and holy. And it will ignite what religion has only managed to manage. So be still. Be aware. Be ready. The strike is not coming from far away. It's already in the atmosphere. Your body knows it. Your spirit senses it. And soon, your life will testify to it. Chosen one, you were not born to resist the lightning. You were born to carry it. Rebuild the temple within. Chosen one, your body is not a shell. It is not a disposable frame or a temporary inconvenience. It is a temple, a living, breathing sanctuary designed for glory. And right now, God is calling you to cleanse it, restore it, fortify it, not with shame, but with purpose. Because what's about to descend into your life cannot land on broken foundations. This isn't just about taking better care of yourself. It's about restoring sacred order to the dwelling place of the Most High. You've been treating your body like it's optional in your spiritual walk, like it's a side project or background noise, but heaven never intended it to be that way. From the beginning, God didn't just speak with His voice, He formed with His hands. He breathed His Spirit into dust and created a body, not just to move, but to host divine presence. So, when your body is neglected, cluttered, overrun by chaos, or numb with overindulgence, it's not just unhealthy, it's out of alignment with its original assignment. There are parts of you right now that are carrying things they were never designed to hold. Your gut is weighed down with unresolved tension. Your back carries burdens of spiritual delay. Your breath is shallow from years of living in constant fight or flight mode. You've been treating symptoms without addressing the structure. But today, the call is clear. Rebuild the temple. Tear down the altars to your cravings. Remove the false gods of convenience, comparison, and comfort. Cleanse the holy place from all that numbs, dulls, or diverts your attention from divine presence. The Lord is not condemning you, He's inviting you to cleanse the space He longs to fill. Remember how the temple in Jerusalem had to be prepared before the glory descended. The oil had to be pure, the instruments sanctified, the garments in place. Every item was aligned in reverence. Why? Because glory doesn't visit where chaos reigns. It lands where honor lives. In the same way, your body must become an intentional temple, not a rushed one, not a half-prepared one, but a space of order, reverence, and invitation. We find in the second book of Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 1, when Solomon finished praying, fire came down from heaven and consumed the burnt offering and the sacrifices, and the glory of the Lord filled the temple. Ends. It was after the preparation that the fire came, not before. So what must be cleared in your life before the fire falls? What habits have cluttered your temple? What rhythms have robbed your vessel of clarity? This is your moment to ask, not with fear, but with courage. Lord, show me what must be rebuilt. This is not about image. This is about intimacy, not about appearance, but atmosphere. The enemy would love for you to believe this is just a health trend, that talking about your body is vanity. But in reality, this is strategy. Your health is not a distraction from your calling, it's the foundation of it. If your body breaks down, your consistency does too. If your temple is toxic, your clarity dims, and the spirit, though willing, must wait for the vessel to be prepared. God is not looking for flawless bodies. He's looking for available temples, places that say, "Clean me out. Lord, make me a resting place." You've been asking for more of His voice, but your body is holding on to echoes of past pain, unprocessed trauma, and unchecked cravings. And heaven will not pour into a temple that refuses to be emptied. The fire will not share space with the idols. So start where you are. Rebuilding doesn't happen in a single moment. It begins with awareness, then obedience, then rhythm. You may need to fast from certain foods, but also from certain people, sounds, and digital distractions. You may need to rise early, not to check a box, but to rebuild the rhythm of stillness. You may need to move your body not for performance, but to remove stagnation from the temple courts. Let your every action declare, "This is holy ground now." And little by little, you'll feel it. The fog lifting, the cravings losing control, the energy returning, the silence deepening, the word becoming clearer, the whispers of God echoing through your bones instead of bouncing off cluttered walls. Your temple will begin to glow again, because where order reigns, the King returns. Chosen one, you are not just making lifestyle changes. You are preparing a landing strip for fire. You are restoring the atmosphere of heaven in your very body. And heaven is watching not to judge, but to fill. So let the rebuilding begin. The strike is coming, and your temple must be ready to receive it. You're becoming an ark, not a concept, not a metaphor. A living ark, a vessel designed to carry the weight of something sacred through a world drowning in chaos. Chosen one, the transformation taking place in your body, in your mind, in your daily habits. It's not just for your personal growth. It's preparation for divine containment. The ark Noah built wasn't just a wooden structure, it was a survival system. It preserved the future. It carried the righteous through judgment. It held within it the next chapter of God's story on the earth. That same pattern is unfolding in you. You are being shaped into a vessel that can preserve what is holy. And just like Noah's Ark, you are being constructed against the backdrop of mockery, misunderstanding, and pressure. People don't see what's coming, but you do. And heaven is commanding you to build anyway. This is why the past few seasons have felt like isolation, why you've been instructed to shift your rhythms, why old cravings no longer satisfy and former environments feel foreign. God has placed tools in your hands, not hammers and nails, but discipline and sensitivity. You've been asked to eat differently, think differently, rest differently. Why? Because the structure God is building in you must survive the storm that others are ignoring. It's not just about survival. It's about preservation. You're not just being prepared to endure, you're being made ready to carry others through. Your life will become a refuge, a place where His voice echoes clearly, a safe space for those who will come running when the waters rise and the ground beneath them fails. And because your assignment is so heavy, your construction must be exact. The ark could not be built halfway. It couldn't leak. It couldn't be loose. It couldn't be rushed. Every measurement mattered. Every plank had to be positioned in obedience. That's the level of precision God is calling you into now. No more guessing. No more good enough. You must align with divine instruction down to the detail. You are becoming a carrier of covenant. It is written in the book of Exodus, chapter 25, verse 22. There, above the cover between the two cherubim that are over the ark of the covenant law, I will meet with you and give you all my commands for the Israelites. And God spoke from the ark. His voice rested upon it. His instruction flowed through it. You are not just a servant, you are becoming the meeting place, the point of encounter. When people draw near to you, they won't just see behavior change, they'll feel divine atmosphere. Something in your walk, your eyes, your voice, your silence will carry the weight of presence. But to carry it well, your temple must be sealed. The ark Noah built was covered in pitch, inside and out. It was sealed, so nothing from the outside could corrupt what was within. In the same way, you must be sealed with purity, not perfection, but intentional protection. The sealing of your eye gates, the boundaries around your conversations, the honoring of your body's need for rest and stillness. These are not spiritual extras. They are structural requirements. God is not building a temporary tabernacle in you. He is forming an ark, a vessel that will endure the floods of culture, confusion, compromise, and chaos. While others panic, you will carry peace. While others drown in deception, you will preserve clarity. While others collapse, you will still stand, but only if you continue building. The enemy wants you to quit mid-construction. He wants you to believe it's all too much, that the spiritual weight you're sensing is unnecessary, too intense, even unhealthy. He'll whisper lies like, "No one else is doing this. You're being extreme. It doesn't take all that." But remember, only one man built an ark, and only his family survived. You're not building for applause. You're building for the storm. You're not preparing because it's trendy. You're preparing because it's time. There will come a moment soon when what you carry will not just be a flame in your heart. It will become shelter for others. People will run to you, and you will not just have words. You will have weight, not ego, not information, but substance, presence, wisdom, power, because you chose to become an ark before the first drop of rain ever fell. So stay steady, keep building, keep aligning. Every stretch, every fast, every act of discipline, every uncomfortable choice, it's sealing your structure. It's making you a resting place for the holy. And when the strike comes, you will not be shaken. You will carry what others cannot touch. Your posture predicts your power. Chosen one. The way you carry your body is not just about discipline, it's a declaration. Heaven sees your posture. Hell studies your posture. And your posture, how you rise, how you walk, how you kneel, how you hold yourself, reveals the state of your authority before you speak a single word. You've been told that your spiritual life is all about what's unseen. And yes, the unseen matters. But what happens in the spirit realm manifests in the physical. Scripture never separates posture from purpose. The prophets didn't just feel the word, they bent their knees. The kings didn't just receive dreams, they stood up in command. Jesus didn't just pray quietly, he wept, groaned, fell, rose, and walked with divine authority. And now, so must you. You are stepping into a moment where even the way you move will carry weight. Your walk will speak. Your stillness will convict. Your presence will shift atmospheres. But this doesn't happen by accident. This happens when your posture comes under prophetic alignment. There are things that cannot be carried with a slouched spirit. Some mantles only rest on those who stand ready. That's why God is calling you to fix more than your habits. He's calling you to adjust your posture. This is not arrogance, it's alignment. Heaven is not looking for performers. It is looking for postured carriers. It is written in the book of Luke, chapter 13, verses 12 to 13. When Jesus saw her, he called her forward and said, "Woman, you are set free from your infirmity." He laid his hands on her, and immediately she straightened up and praised God. The first thing restored was posture. Before praise came alignment. Before breakthrough came physical correction. And for some of you, that is the word right now. Straighten up, not just spiritually, but physically. Sit with intention. Rise with purpose. Don't drag through the day like someone surviving. Walk like someone sent. Because you are. You were sent here for such a time as this. And heaven needs your posture to match your prophecy. This is why the enemy attacks your body first. Why he sends weariness. Why he makes you hunch over with emotional weight. Why your shoulders feel heavy. Your neck tight. Your back sore, not always from activity, but from assignment. Because when your posture is broken, your perception follows. And a bowed body often leads to a bowed mind. You begin thinking like a victim. You stop seeing yourself as chosen. You question the authority you carry. But today, everything shifts. Today, heaven is commanding your bones to remember who they are, to rise up, to stretch, to align. Your spine isn't just structural, it's spiritual. You are being prepared to carry a new weight, and your body is responding. This is why your habits are changing. You're moving differently, eating differently, breathing more deeply, sitting more still, stretching not for relaxation, but for revelation. Every movement is a message. Every act of order in your body is an invitation to the Spirit. So what is your posture saying? Chosen one. This is not about looking impressive. This is about being ready when the spiritual force strikes your life. It will not adjust to your comfort. It will descend according to heaven's timing, heaven's precision. And if your body is in agreement, if your posture is open, upright, expectant you will catch what others will miss. You've come too far to slump now. Stand like you've been spoken to. Move like oil is about to fall. Walk like someone who already carries weight. And if this word is piercing through the fog, if you feel the pull to rise again, don't brush it off. Let your response be physical. Sit taller. Inhale deeply. Roll your shoulders back. Feel your body shift into agreement. Then act in the spirit. Like this message, not for the algorithm, but to mark your yes. Share it not just to inform someone, but to awaken someone. Subscribe not to follow content, but to stay aligned with divine strategy. And finally, declare your alignment. Comment, I rise now. No, 3 words. A prophetic act. A declaration that your posture is changing, that you will no longer carry the call with slumped shoulders or a bowed head. You rise not in pride, but in placement. You rise because heaven called you out. You rise because oil only flows down, not into those who lie flat in fear, but into those who stand in surrender. So, rise. Stand tall. Walk with authority. Your posture is no longer shaped by the past. It's shaped by what you carry. The strike is inevitable. It will not wait for your schedule to clear. It will not ask if you feel ready. It will not accommodate your hesitation or your emotional weather. Heaven has already spoken. The force is already in motion, and it is coming for you. Chosen one. You can sense it now, more than ever, the nearness, the pressure, the stillness before the spiritual storm. You can feel it in the quiet resistance when you try to pray, in the strange shifts in your appetite, in the restless ache that nothing in the natural can soothe. You're not imagining it. The weight you feel is real, and it's not your burden, it's God's glory moving closer. There is no hiding from the holy. When the strike comes, it will reach every corner of your life. It will break through the locked rooms. It will press into the places you kept tucked away. Thinking, I'll surrender that part later. No more delay. No more compartments. God is not asking for pieces. He's claiming the whole temple. This is the hour where mercy doesn't disappear, but it does tighten. The longer you wait, the heavier the pressure will become. Not because God is cruel, but because He is jealous for what belongs to Him. And you, chosen one, have been holding back parts of your body, your time, your energy, waiting for the right moment. But heaven isn't following your timing. Heaven is following divine design, and your name has already been called. The scroll concerning you has already been opened. The strike is not future, it's active. That's why your body has felt interrupted. The hunger for normal things has been fading. The desire for convenience has been challenged. You find yourself craving solitude, sensing the weight of invisible shifts. That's not random. That's not burnout. That's the sign of a vessel about to be hit. You see, when the power of God strikes a life, it doesn't simply inspire, it alters. The way lightning splits a tree or scorches a rooftop, the Spirit will burn away what you refuse to release. Not to harm, but to purify. Not to shame, but to sanctify. And if you try to hold on to the things that don't belong in your next season, they won't survive the impact. This is why God has been warning you gently in the physical. The fatigue, the shortness of breath, the strange pressure in your chest, the tension in your shoulders, the fog in your mind. You've thought it was stress, Or maybe just lack of sleep. But what if it's not? What if it's the last mercy before the lightning, the warning tremors before the full release? In the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 2, the word says, "But who can endure the day of his coming? Who can stand when he appears? For he will be like a refiner's fire or a launderer's soap." This isn't soft light. This isn't a polite visitation. This is refining fire, and your body, mind, and soul must endure it. You cannot stand in this moment on good intentions alone. You must be made ready. You must be sober in spirit and steady in flesh. Some will miss it, not because God skipped them, but because they never prepared. They clung to comfort. They drowned in noise. They tried to blend in when they were called to burn bright. But not you. You feel the tremble. You know what this is. And even now, the Spirit is scanning your temple. He's checking the gates. He's testing the structure. He's looking for leaks in your posture. Not because he wants to catch you failing, but because he wants to strike fully. The full weight of his glory cannot descend on a vessel that's cluttered with delay. And that's why you feel this urgency, not panic, but pressure. The kind of pressure that doesn't scream but won't let you go back to sleep. You are being brought to the final threshold. The edge where your preparation ends and the presence arrives. And when it does, it will be fast. It will be fiery. It will be undeniable. It will not ask for permission. It will fall. And when it does, those who've prepared in secret, who've aligned their bodies, quieted their spirits, yielded their appetites, surrendered their rhythms, those are the ones who will not be destroyed. They will be marked. They will carry the afterglow of heaven's touch in every room they enter. So what remains now is not a question of if. It's only a question of how you'll receive it. Ready or resisting. Open or overwhelmed. Aligned or unsteady. The strike is coming. Let it find you ready. Chosen ones. Get in position. This is the moment everything has been building toward. Every instruction. Every disruption in your body. Every whisper in your spirit, none of it was random. Heaven has been preparing you, piece by piece, to step into exact position for what is about to collide with your life. There are no more warnings. This is the threshold. The strike is not coming. It's here. Now is the time to align fully, not partially, not conveniently, not when it feels manageable. God is not pouring himself out on scattered hearts or casual vessels. He is looking for those who have positioned their entire being, spirit, soul, and body to receive the weight of his presence. And you, chosen one, are being summoned into that position. This is not about doing more. This is about becoming still. Because only still vessels can fully absorb the magnitude of divine impact. Only those who quiet the internal storm can carry the clarity that follows the strike. Position begins with posture. The way you rise in the morning, the way you step into prayer, the way you enter a room, not seeking approval, but carrying presence. Heaven is watching not just how you believe, but how you stand. There's a difference between people who are spiritually aware and those who are spiritually available. The available ones are ready. You are becoming one of them. Position also means pruning. There are things you simply cannot carry into this next hour: patterns, attachments, indulgences, secret hesitations. You know what they are. The Spirit has been highlighting them, not to condemn you, but to call you higher. The fire that's about to fall won't just anoint you. It will expose everything that's not aligned. This is the final call to let go of what you already know doesn't belong. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need someone else to say it's time. The nudge has already been given. The weight in your chest, that's the Spirit. Not waiting to speak, but waiting for your yes. This position requires purity, not perfection, but purity of intention. It means showing up before God without pretense. No more hiding behind religious activity. No more covering your fatigue with busy performance. No more pretending you're strong when you're worn out. God doesn't need your polish. He needs your honesty. Because the position that attracts His presence is not prideful. It's empty. It says, I have nothing left unless you fill me. That's where the strike lands. Not on strength, but on surrender. In the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 5, verse 13 to 14, it is written, Then the temple of the Lord was filled with the cloud, and the priests could not perform their service because of the cloud. For the glory of the Lord filled the temple of God. They were ready. They were in place. And the glory filled what had been prepared. This is your temple moment. Your body, now aligned. Your habits, now reordered. Your cravings, now surrendered. Your attention, now sharpened. All of this has not been about self-improvement. It's been about readiness for glory. The strike will not be subtle. It will not wait for your next spiritual high. It will fall when you least expect, but not without preparation. The intensity of what is coming will match the depth of your surrender. And while others scramble to adjust, you, chosen one, will be found already in position. And what will that position look like? It might be quiet, still, kneeling in the secret place, or standing tall in the middle of a room, carrying something invisible yet undeniable. It might be seen by no one, but known by heaven, because the ones who are in position don't announce themselves. They host. They carry the charge of divine voltage in their very skin. Their eyes reflect clarity. Their presence speaks before they open their mouths. Their bodies are temples. Their movements are deliberate. Their lives are aligned. They move through the world like thunder, wrapped in silence, calm, but charged. Even their stillness disturbs darkness. Demons recognize their steps. Heaven responds to their breath. They don't chase moments, they host them. Every part of the mind, breath, body is synchronized to the sound of heaven's call. This is what alignment truly looks like. This is who you are becoming. Not just a believer, a beacon. Not just a vessel, a landing place. You've been tested. You've been warned. You've been shaped. You've been refined. Now, you are being positioned. Not later. Not someday. Now, the force is here, and it's no longer seeking, it's striking. Let it find you surrendered. Let it find you holy. Let it find you ready. Chosen one. If this message stirred something deep inside you, if your spirit trembled, if your body bore witness, if your heart whispered, yes, through the fire, then don't walk away unchanged. You've just received a divine instruction, a spiritual blueprint, a holy confirmation that you are not like the rest. You were never meant to blend in. You were made to burn, to carry, to strike with power and clarity in a generation drowning in noise. What happens next is not about hype, it's about response. This is your moment to mark the shift. Don't keep this word trapped in your heart. Let your agreement echo out loud. Comment below. I'm ready. Just those two words. They speak surrender. They signal alignment. They say to heaven, find me prepared. Then, like this message, not to boost it, but to bear witness, to say, this word was mine, and share it with the one person you know who's been walking through the same spiritual pressure in silence, the one who's been sensing something but didn't know how to name it. Let this be their confirmation. 2. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because what's coming next will not be for the distracted. You're being called into a rhythm, into revelation, into readiness. Stay under the flow. Stay aligned with the voice. This is not entertainment. This is divine activation. Heaven is striking. And now, so will you.